McKinsey has been good at marrying business and government. Could you tell us more about how you have successfully done this, and what are some of the relevant findings that you'd like to share with us in terms of your successes on the continent?
Thank you. Well, I mean, people in the room will obviously know that in the last decade, Africa, the line has been on the move. It's the second fastest growing economy in the world, and our belief is that growth is going to continue. I think what very few people understand is that by 2035, Africa is going to have the largest labor force in the world. It's a young labor force. There's this huge demographic dividend, particularly in East and West Africa, that's going to come through, that's going to continue to drive this economy. It's also going to be an educated workforce. By 2020, 50% of Africans will have a secondary and a tertiary education. That's not far away. That's the same level as India today. And when you look at unemployment today, it's only 9%. Yes, there's some issues when you look at North Africa where the participation rate of women is low, but it's 9%. The issue when you break it down is that the majority of employed people are in what we call vulnerable employment. These are people in non-wage paying jobs. And if you take Africa today and you project it forward, it's going to take 50 years at the current growth rates of industrialization for us to actually create stable job levels of the order of magnitude you see in the East. So Africa needs to invest in building stable jobs. When we looked at this, what we found was the places we're going to grow jobs are going to be in agriculture, in the retail and hospitality sector, and in manufacturing. Interestingly, I haven't said resources. Resources are very important for Africa. They're 25% of GDP. And because we have a low savings rate, we need those foreign inflows for investment. But it employs less than 1% of the total African population. So we have to look at these three sectors: the agriculture, developing new land, retail and hospitality, and then manufacturing. And then build an industrialization policy around that. We're not going to solve in Africa or in a particular country the policy for everything. We have to choose something. Like in Morocco, they took the auto parts sector, they broke it down, they understood where they could compete, or in Mali with their mangoes. And then in that context, and I think in support of what Brian's saying, then you can build the infrastructure, you can find the financing, you can invest in the right skills, and you can put the right policy around that, and that will create growth. And if you do that, we actually think, and you start now, you can make a huge difference and halve the time to build a healthy, stable jobs picture in Africa.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.